Hi everyone, I'm Susan Mulvihill. Welcome back to my snowy garden once again. You know, I had high hopes that the snow would be melted by now. No such luck. It's not even thinking about it. And even though I have this lovely sunshine, it is very cold here, like 9 degrees. So today we're going to do the rest of the video indoors where it's nice and warm. The topic for today is getting kids involved in the garden, and this is something that is very near and dear to my heart. It should be to yours too. So let's go talk about it. This is so much more pleasant. There's no point in my being outside in that cold, snowy garden because there's no gardening I can do anyway. But today I wanted to talk to you about my March 3rd garden column, which is about getting kids involved in the growing of a garden. And you can easily find it on my website, susansinthegarden.com. Now, why is this topic so important? You know, when I was little, I was raised that you go outside and you tend plants and you grow a garden. And because of that, I've been involved in gardening all of my life. It is absolutely a passion for me. So today, kids tend not to know where their food came from. They might go into a grocery store and they see carrots and potatoes and tomatoes, but they don't know how they grew. You know, our society has gotten away from growing gardens, and it's such an important skill that we should all have. Also, kids and adults really like the processed foods. They're easy to get, they're inexpensive, and they appeal to our taste buds because they're salty and they're sweet. However, it is so important that kids understand how good a sun-ripened tomato is, or a crispy snap pea. I mean, they're so delicious, they're so much better for us, and so I think it's really important to get kids out in the garden. If you have never grown a garden before, this is the perfect opportunity for the two of you to learn together. It will form a bond between you that is absolutely unbreakable, and that is so cool. Now, when kids learn to garden at a very early age, that goes with them through their entire lives. It will become the norm for them to grow a garden every year, and it will become a passion for them, just like it has for me. So here is my challenge to you. Whether you have kids handy, your grandkids, nieces, nephews, neighbor kids, school kids, please take them out into the garden and start growing a garden together. So here are some thoughts on growing a garden. Especially if it's the first one, make sure that you keep the garden small and manageable. Neither of you will want to feel overwhelmed. Also, make sure you keep it fun. If the kids feel like this is something you're making them do, they won't buy into it at all. It definitely needs to be something that's enjoyable. Now, the place you choose for your garden should be nice and sunny. For vegetables and flowers to do well, they need a minimum of 6 hours of sunlight a day. Now, if you don't have an area in your yard that's sunny, but maybe a balcony or a deck or a patio gets a lot of light, consider growing a garden in a large container. That will work perfectly well. Make sure that water is close by so that it's easy to water the plants. If you have questions about growing things, you are very welcome to send me an email at susan@susansinthegarden.com, or you can contact your local master gardeners. It's very easy to find them by doing a web search on the name of your county plus the words Master Gardener. So in my case, Spokane County Master Gardeners, and that will take me to their website very easily. So they are a great resource as well. In my March 3rd garden column, I mentioned the concept of creating a teepee, which is a structure you would use to let things like pole beans, peas, or cucumbers grow up on the outside. Now, if you've never seen one or you're wondering how you would create one, I wanted to let you know that for my blog post on this column, which is on my website, I embedded a video from the web that shows you exactly how to do that. Now, you don't have to buy any special building materials. You could certainly use very long branches that someone has pruned from a tree, let's say. So that's an option. And the cool thing about a teepee is if you make it large enough at the base, 2 or 3 kids could go in there and that could be their secret meeting place in the summer. Make sure that you ask the kids what they would like to grow. They might have an idea of something that they're interested in growing. That would be really cool. But if they don't have any ideas, I do. So let's take a look. First of all, I'd like to thank Botanical Interest Seed Company for sharing these beautiful images with me so you can see what I'm referring to. Radishes are my first suggestion. Why? Well, they come in fun colors like these Easter egg radishes or watermelon radishes that look like a slice of watermelon when you cut into them. But it goes beyond that. Radishes are super easy to grow. The seeds sprout really quickly, and the radishes are ready for picking in about 3 weeks. So it's kind of like instant gratification for your kids. Remember how I suggested making a teepee? Well, Kentucky Wonder pole beans are easy to grow and very reliable, so they are one idea. Cascadia snap peas have a wonderful crunchy taste. And baby Persian cucumbers are another great choice with their 4-inch long fruits that are great for snacking on in the garden or packing into a lunchbox. If your kids enjoy eating grape or cherry tomatoes, why not try either these jelly bean red and yellow grape tomatoes or sun gold cherry tomatoes. They are absolutely delicious, especially for popping into your mouth out in the garden, serving up in a salad for dinner, or packing into your kids' lunchboxes. What child wouldn't love to grow their very own pumpkins? They could grow these small Jack-be Little mini pumpkins, which could also be grown up on the teepee, jack-o'-lanterns for carving and Halloween decorations, or the granddaddies of them all, Atlantic giants. This particular variety is known for producing whopper pumpkins, which your kids could enter in your county fair. In 2017, a friend and I had an informal pumpkin growing competition, and this is one of them that I grew. That is a lot of fun. Another easy-to-grow veggie is summer squash, and specifically zucchini. This is a yummy one called cocozel, or how about a fun yellow squash called cube of butter? And last but not least, sunflowers are really easy to grow. They attract pollinators, so that will give your kids the opportunity to observe them up close. But how about growing some of the really tall sunflowers such as Mammoth Gray Stripe or Titan, and then entering them in the fair? Just for an example, here's a Mammoth Gray Stripe I grew a few years ago, which was over 12 feet tall. And of course, there are lots of pretty varieties of sunflowers that will look fantastic in the garden. There are 2 other opportunities I can think of that you might be interested in. The first one involves working in a school garden. There are many elementary schools that have a special program where they have raised beds that the kids work in and learn from. So you would want to contact the person in charge of the program to find out what it would take for you to be able to volunteer to work with the kids. I think that's a great opportunity. The other idea is to mentor a neighborhood kid. That would be a great way to form a bond so that you have a good relationship with each other, and it's the opportunity to share what you know and to learn together. Well, I hope today's topic has given you some food for thought. Getting kids out in the garden is a win-win situation, so I do hope you'll take me up on my challenge. In the meantime, let's think spring, and I'll see you back in the garden in a week.